All right, folks, this is your Colonel and the Wiggles. Is that what we call you?
Yeah, that's what you call me, I guess.
We are back with the morning drudgery after a reasonably long hiatus.
That's right.
Maybe 3 years.
Has it really been that long?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, we
gosh.
started the morning drudgery 2017, April of 2017.
Oh, wow.
This is now the tail end of 2020.
Damn, I look good. I haven't aged a day. Don't get too close.
All right, yeah, you look good. All right, so this is a show. If you did not catch it before, this is a show where we go over the Drudge Report headlines every day, and the Drudge Report has changed significantly actually since when I first got on the Drudge Report, probably in 2004.
Wow.
3, 4.
That's a long time
and it was
ago.
already like 6 years old at that point. I mean, it's an old HTML site. But it's just basically a hyperlink site with just news headlines. And no fuzz, no flash, nothing at all.
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be this unbiased place to just find news. That was the impression you gave me way back when.
Yeah, more or less. It's always had a conservative, they call it a conservative slant, but it's not really that it has a conservative slant. It just never censored conservative stories.
Mhm.
That's really the only thing that made it different. It wasn't pro-conservative. But I'll tell you what, lately, and maybe it's just because the entire fucking mainstream media has turned hard left. That's just all the stories that
And
you can
some of
find.
your crazy family members too.
Yeah.
And friends. Mm.
Yeah. So check it out. You go to drudgereport.com. Keep up with us. So today, and they have archives. So if you go down towards the bottom, because this will probably come out tomorrow, and that means you'll be looking at today's headlines.
I wish you could see the Drudge Report I'm looking at right now because it doesn't look anything like the one you see.
Hold on, let me refresh it.
Why don't you refresh it and see if...
Let me get it refreshed here. Does it look more like what you see now?
Not at all. This is actually, I feel like I'm in like a Twilight Zone
Have
place.
you refreshed yours by chance?
I will.
I think maybe that's your problem.
No. Mine literally has like, I don't know, maybe only 20 links. And the man with the mask.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
It
if you
does not
scroll
look
down,
like
you
that
don't
at
see
all.
that?
I can't scroll down at all. Well,
There it is, isn't it?
no,
No?
I'm telling you, it's weird. I wish there was a camera to see what I see on my screen right now.
Jesus. Well, here, film it. I'll drop it in. Seeing what you see there. Seeing what you see there.
That is it. That is what Drudge Report looks like right now. Let me refresh it just so I have like hardcore proof. Refreshing. That's crazy. I'm glad we have that screen up.
Interesting.
How about that?
Well, I guess there's two different Drudge Reports now. If you're on Mac, or she's on a Mac, and I'm on the Windows. First of all, before we even get into the morning drudgery, we can't start without talking about, because obviously it's not the top thing on the list. You would think it would. Well, actually, yeah, it's up there on the top of the text link list. What's my correct? There it is.
Are you
What did you-
referencing the debate review?
Yeah. What did you think of the debate last night?
Oh my gosh. It was a glorious moment. I mean, talk about somebody who maintained complete composure, acted like a complete gentleman.
Wait, you're talking about Biden?
No. I mean, they were both pretty okay, but Trump was he was the beacon of hope and light and just pure good old fashioned Americana. It was beautiful. He didn't bring up, I mean, and there were so many ugly things to bring up, but he paid attention to the hardcore facts and he was just tempered and calm. He kept good form. I was really proud. I am really proud.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I was very pleased. It was more than the Republicans could hope for.
Right.
I mean, I actually fully expected him to come out and the bull in the china shop again.
Crack pipe. I just knew I was going to hear crack pipe at least once, right?
Right.
And not at all.
Yep. Yeah. He was very restrained. He was incredibly restrained. And then I thought, probably the highlight for me, because I didn't think that the moderator would bring up the Ukrainian thing with Hunter Biden, the scandal. Although it seems like maybe she was going to, but Trump, the way he introduced it and his response was brilliant to me and very poised.
Yes.
And I mean, he delivered a number of punches to Joe Biden last night for sure.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Well done.
See if
it was a great fight.
Pull up a couple of these real quick. Some clips. I'm sure by now there's plenty of clips. How did you think of Biden's performance?
I mean, it was the same. He reminds me of that comedian with his puppets. And he's looking into the camera and telling me, middle class America, and the rest of us, like, I felt like it was a lot of fear mongering. At one point, I felt scared, and then I felt hope again from Biden, and then I got scared again, and then hope. It was like back and forth. It was very bipolar. That's what it felt like with Biden. Like, I'm literally dealing with a bipolar person. There was one point where he lost his words when talking about the Rio Grande. It was more of typical Biden to me. Yeah. What else can I say?
Yeah, I agree.
He's really got a bulbous forehead.
Yeah, Biden.
Yes.
He has a bulbous forehead.
He does. I mean, like, maybe
she always pays attention to people's foreheads.
I do. Get a bang, baby. Get a bang.
Guess I need a bang too.
No, your forehead don't look like that. And mine doesn't either.
I've got a hell of a forehead, though.
Even though I do like my fringe.
Let's see if we pull up something here.
12 million people are out of work, and as of tonight, 8 million more Americans have fallen into poverty, and more families are going hungry every day. Those hit hardest are women and people of color. They see Washington fighting over a relief bill. Mr. President, why haven't you been able to get them the help they need? 30 seconds here.
Because Nancy Pelosi doesn't want to approve it. I do.
Hey, you're the man.
I do, but I still have to get. Unfortunately, that's one of the reasons I think we're going to take over the House, because of her. Nancy Pelosi doesn't want to approve anything because she'd love to have some victories on a date called November 3rd. Nancy Pelosi does not want to approve it. We are ready, willing, and able to do something. Don't forget, we've already approved 3 plans, and it's gone through, including the Democrats, in all fairness. This one she doesn't want. It's near the election because she thinks it helps her politically. I think it hurts her politically.
I agree 100%. Yeah. I think it hurts her politically, too. I think the Democrats are literally repeating exactly what they did in 2016.
Even worse, it just seems so manipulative, as if we're so aloof and stupid and drugged out of our minds that I guess we can't tell that you're literally trying to withhold this money, this package from Americans that desperately need it, so that you can, I guess, if Biden gets elected, you guys, you'll push it through last minute. Or if he doesn't get elected, it'll still go through. And somehow she'll try to take credit, and this will be part of the uproar. That the radical left uses to just enrage people.
And what they're not really pushing on the mainstream media is the degree of pork barreling that Nancy Pelosi is trying to shove into these so-called COVID relief bills.
Exactly.
And at the beginning of this particular round of stimulus debates in the Congress, Trump literally said, you put it across my desk with just COVID relief and don't put anything else, and I will sign it today. And that was 3 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
And
I think he even increased it. He's offering more money now to just.
Right. And that was too, she cannot do that. Like she simply cannot just pass a bill for people's health without adding some sort of extreme leftist.
She don't give a damn about the people.
She wants to put Planned Parenthood in there. Like what does that got to do with getting people their stimulus checks? How come you can't just how come our Congress is no longer capable of just creating a bill that does what the title says without any other things in it?
It seems so simple.
It is simple. It really is simple. That's the part that, like, I guess they try to obfuscate from the public that, like, oh, well, it's not that simple. It actually is. It's just a bunch of people doing, they're elected representatives. They can do whatever. They can sign whatever bill that they want.
Well, I guess when you got tons of money in your account, you can buy whatever you want. You got whatever you need. Maybe, I guess, the situation doesn't seem quite as dire to you as it is to so many more Americans that are out here, on the ground with children,
right?
Living real life, trying to figure out how they're going to pay their bills, trying to navigate working and doing NTI, with kids, making sure their kids still get their education. It's a disaster. What was really scary to me was hearing Biden talk about, when he's fear mongering, talking about we got to keep the nation, we have to change things, but we got to keep the nation closed forever. Is that what you intend to do so that our kids can't go back to school? Trump is trying to send kids back to school, and he argues against that. We don't want to open up the schools. What are parents supposed to do when kids have a 99.9%? And maybe this is not exactly correct, but kids are recovering from COVID. The ones that are getting sick are recovering. They're not dropping dead for the most part. So, and people my age that are healthy, that don't have any underlying conditions, they're recovering. Now, I know some people are dying. I get that. But people die from the flu too. But the fact of the matter is the kids need to go back to school. People have to go to work. We cannot perpetually keep our nation closed. How are we going to survive?
Yeah, here. Most reported cases of coronavirus. This is from the CDC, by the way. In children aged 18 years or less appear to be asymptomatic or mild. Less is known about required hospitalization on children. And that's because basically there's virtually no hospitalization of children. There have been like one or two cases, and there always will be. I mean, there's kids that die of the common cold.
Well, look, let's talk about the school our kids go to right now. They're in private school.
Right.
There are kids that have gotten COVID at that school, and their parents as well. The school has
we've had 3 breakouts now, I think.
3 or 4.
And there has been no transmission through the school.
Nobody's dropping dead.
Yeah,
none of the kids
they're
have died.
following protocols. They don't always wear masks if they're sitting down. It's kind of, some classes do, some classes don't.
But they have plexiglass around them if they're not wearing the mask.
They've got a little plexiglass thing, and they're spaced out.
Mm-hmm.
They're still having recess. They're still doing in school courses. Instead of traveling around the school when the bell rings, running from class to class, the teachers actually travel to them. So all the kids basically stay in the same room throughout the day. So there's less transmission around the building.
Well, let's also talk about the friends that we know that have caught COVID-19 and survived.
Yes.
They are not dead. I don't personally
and they're not healthy people either.
Yeah, no, not necessarily. Yeah. They get their drink on. I know they party hard. I don't know about the rest of their lifestyle.
They're older, middle-aged people, but
they have fun with their bodies.
And that's not, we're not downplaying the implications of COVID. We're actually just saying we are against the exaggeration of it all, and used as like this extremist terrorist, just to scare the hell out of people.
The thing is it's not going anywhere.
No, it's not.
That's the whole thing. So we have to find a way to navigate this so that we can continue to thrive as a society and a people. And this younger generation, our children, we cannot just pull them out of school and do NTI and think that's the equivalent of getting an education in the classroom, especially when public education, as the rule, unless you're in a really good community that has great schools, which is not everybody, is substandard. Just being completely honest about it.
So here's the coronavirus response that we got last night. Check it out.
Which
that's the wrong one.
That's all Wallace.
That's all Wallace. Yeah, it's weird because like you would think by now they would have all this kind of like updated, but they're still flashing back to the first one because that one looks better.
Well, it didn't kill our president. It didn't kill his son.
Here we go.
He said there's a vaccine coming out.
YouTube ads.
The virus has claimed nearly 223,000 lives.
Still not what I'm looking for. Come on, man.
And again, yes, like I'm not downplaying the virus. I wear my mask when I go out all the time. I'm bleach, peroxide, alcohol queen. I clean everything multiple times a day. I make sure that I wash my kids' stuff every single day. Their book bags, their school uniforms, the jacket that they have to wear every day with the school logo on it.
Dead.
Right.
If you hear nothing else I say tonight, 220,000 Americans dead. If you hear nothing else I say tonight, hear this. Anyone who's responsible for not taking control, in fact, not saying I take no responsibility initially. Anyone who's responsible for that many deaths should not remain as president of the United States of America.
Now, how's President?
I guess he thinks COVID-19 is president because, it's the virus's fault for killing people. If you want to blame anything, this is a Chinese virus. But the president is not a chemist or a biologist or a doctor or a scientist. I mean, he did everything he could. We have to wear masks. You don't even get access. That was another thing. Biden keeps pushing. I'd mandate masks. It already is a mandate. At least here in Kentucky it is. I know in Georgia it is as well. I'm pretty sure in Tennessee it's the same thing. Those are the 3 states that I have been to. And I know we all have to wear a mask. If I walk into a Target, a Walgreens, a Kroger, and I don't have a mask on, I can't shop in there, period. That's just how it is. No mask, no access. I have to do online shopping. If my kids don't wear a mask at school, they can't go to school.
Right. All right, here's the result, because the irony of Biden's response to that, the beginning. I just want you to remember 200,000. I mean, it's just fear mongering for one. But after he came after Trump on this, and Trump already addressed that, and you could just tell that Biden, this is the card that Biden didn't memorized, and he has no ability to go deviate from his read cards, whatever memory work he's been working on
with his Adderall.
Yeah. So let's see if this is the whole thing here.
More than 12 million people are out of work, and as of tonight, 8 million more Americans have fallen into poverty, and more families are going hungry every day. Those hit hardest are women and people of color. They see Washington fighting over a relief bill. Mr. President, why haven't you been able to get them the help they need? 30 seconds here.
Because Nancy Pelosi doesn't want to approve it. I do.
But you're the president.
I do, but
Biden, because let me ask Vice President Biden a question. You are the leader of the Democratic Party. Why have you not pushed the Democrats to get a deal for the American people?
Well, I have, and they have pushed it. Look, they passed this act all the way back in the beginning of the summer. This is like it's not new. It's been out there. This HEROES Act has been sitting there. And look at what's happening. When I was in charge of the Recovery Act with $800 billion, I was able to get $145 billion to local communities that have to balance their budgets and states that have to balance their budgets, so then have to fire firefighters, teachers, first responders, law enforcement officers, so they can keep their cities and counties running. He will not.
And what kind of cities and counties is he talking about, do you think? It's all Democrats. Mm-hmm. It's all Democratic cities that are collapsing. It's all of their budgets that are collapsing. And of course you can't say that. That's still not the clip I was looking for. I'm just going to give up looking for it. But like straight up, I mean, Trump was like, we're not going to shut down. We're going to open up the country. We did shut down. Biden, you was saying don't do it, and you're basically they were getting ready for, like, before Trump shut down the economy. All the rhetoric from the left was more or less like he's going to try to shut down the whole. He's going to take over and be a dictator and take away your freedoms
because
and make you stay in your house and all this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And then literally, 2 months later, they've completely flipped this script, completely dominated that narrative to where now they're the ones saying, oh, he should have shut down earlier. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And people have such short memories sometimes. I don't understand how
they hijack the truth, they hijack the language, and they twist it constantly. And a lot of people, I don't think they're thinking. Their brains are not turned on. I don't know if it's the fluoride in the water or all of the drugs that they're getting from Big Pharma or what have you. I'm not sure, or if they're just, brain dead. But there's a lot of people that aren't thinking and completely buy into this crap. When he looks into the camera, they think that they're having an intimate conversation with Biden and that he is selling them on the truth.
It's amazing. And we knew, coronavirus was going to be the big thing because that's all Biden has. That's all he has is the coronavirus. But basically fear mongering people into, and in their opinion, I think they think that people are as afraid of the coronavirus as they are.
No, we're
making
fed
it out
up.
to be.
That's where we're at. We're all fed up at this point. We realize
It's
that this isn't going
government
away.
tyranny.
We're ready for a vaccine. There's a lot of people that are going to take it. There's a lot of people that won't. But for the most part, I think the vast majority of people are going to take the vaccines. As a matter of fact, people getting vaccines has jumped up in general.
Yeah.
People that were anti-vaxxers have now changed their position and they're getting their kids vaccinated.
Yeah. And the technology is growing too. So, I mean, again, the science is getting better. The vaccines aren't as experimental as they were in the past.
Well, and in addition to that, in conjunction with the almighty cell phones that we all have, we're all being tracked constantly. So if you do come in contact with somebody, the health department is contacting folks and letting you know, hey, you need to quarantine yourself. You were in contact with somebody who had COVID-19. You were in direct contact. You need to quarantine and stay safe. So literally every measure that can be taken, I feel like, is being taken here in the United States of America and all of our states and all of our communities so that we can cut down on transmission of COVID-19. People are taking this seriously, and it is serious, but we cannot shut down the nation.
And Trump threw out an excellent point yesterday, and this is his talking point on coronavirus, which is basically flipping the script on the Democrats' talking point in the beginning of coronavirus once again. The 2 million number, it was still an accurate number even now, if no measures had been taken. So we have 200 and something thousand deaths now. The number that they were throwing out at current rates, if we had not done anything, was 2 million people dead before now, during the summer.
That's
by this
far
time of the
more
year.
than 200,000.
So and then so he opens with that, there'd be 2 million dead people, maybe 3 million dead people, if he hadn't shut down the government, if he hadn't did the stimulus and had people basically staying at home, quarantined for 2 or 3 weeks, and then of course allowing the states to determine their mask policies. 240,000 people. That's a lot of people. I mean, we're not going to lie about it. The flu kills around 80,000 people a year.
Well, Democrats were really interested in making sure, I guess, that people stay home even more. Then they would definitely have passed that bill so that people could get money. Because I guarantee you, when you have more money to spend and you have the luxury of not having to, be super creative so that you can figure out a way to make money for your family because you don't have a job, this, that, and the third. You can then order online from home through Amazon, through Kroger, through Walmart, through Target, what have you. And you can use all these conveniences, but they cost money.
Yep.
So, and you have to have that money available. If it's not available, then you have to go out into the world and you have to work for it. So if they really wanted to cut down on transmission, we would have access to this money. And far less people would be going out, I guarantee you. We'd be ordering in, we'd be living the good life, being cush, drinking our liquor, using the online services and staying home.
Yeah. But at the same time, that's not America, and that's not, nobody wants to do that.
No, we don't want to do that.
We are opening up the country, period. And there's a lot of people now, I'd say a majority of people, that just don't care. If Biden does win, and if Biden does say that there's a mandate, people are going to stop wearing masks that are wearing masks now just to say, fuck you.
Yeah, they're going to give them the finger. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll be one of them.
Because we're Americans.
Yeah. You are not, the federal government is not going to tell me what I can and cannot do, and when I can and cannot wear my mask, or whether I can or cannot go in public. They've tried to do it here, and it will not happen on the federal level. I'm sorry. It's just not. Nobody cares. Biden has he can hardly walk. So it really, I'm not going to let you make those decisions.
Well, it's coming upon a year at this point. Shortly. In a few short months, before we know it, we're going to blink our eyes and bam, it's going to be a year. So, and
of course, Trump throws out, hey, he's got within weeks. So it sounds like that what he's saying, we don't know whether it's true or not, but that there's already if it's coming out in a few weeks, that means the vaccine is already done and they're in testing right now.
Yeah. What is it? Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson?
Yeah. He threw out a couple of Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, another one. But yeah, so, I mean, hey, we'll see what happens. But again, you can see two completely different strategies here on that issue. You have Trump saying folks, don't be afraid. You're going back out. The world is going back to normal. We are going to get back to a normal life.
That's the optimism we need as
well. And you've got Biden saying, folks, it's a dark, scary winter. The winter is coming.
Yes. That was some, what is that show? Game of Thrones stuff. I was like, wait, are you stealing that?
Yeah, I mean, literally just trying to make it sound so bleak and so terrible and so sad, and it is not. And so here's another clip. So they moved on to talk about some race. Let's see about that here.
Mr. President, you've described the Black Lives Matter movement as a symbol of hate. You've shared a video of a man chanting white power to millions of your supporters. You've said that black professional athletes exercising their First Amendment rights should be fired. What do you say to Americans who say that kind of language from a president is contributing to a climate of hate and racial strife?
Well, you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. I said, that's a horrible thing. And they were marching down the street. And that was my first glimpse of Black Lives Matter. I thought it was a terrible thing. As far as my relationships with all people, I think I have great relationships with all people. I am the least racist person in this room.
But what do you say to Americans who are concerned by that rhetoric?
I don't know. I don't know what to say. I got criminal justice reform done and prison reform and opportunity zones. I took care of black colleges and universities. I don't know what to say. They can say anything. I mean, they can say anything. It makes me sad because I am the least racist person. I can't even see the audience because it's so dark, but I don't care who's in the audience. I'm the least racist person in this room.
Okay, Vice President Biden, let me ask you very quickly, and then I have a follow-up question for you.
Abraham Lincoln here is one of the most racist presidents we've had in modern history. He pours fuel on every single racist fire. Every single one. Started off his campaign coming down the escalator saying he's going to get rid of those Mexican rapists. He's banned Muslims because they're Muslims. He has moved around and made everything worse across the board. He says about the poor boys, last time we were on the stage here, he said, I told them to stand down and stand ready. Come on. This guy has a dog whistle about as big as a foghorn.
President Trump, I'm going to give you 10 seconds to respond, and then I have a follow-up.
You made a reference to Abraham Lincoln. Where did that come in? I mean,
you said you're Abraham Lincoln.
No, where did that? No.
You said,
I said not since Abraham Lincoln has anybody done what I've done for the black community.
And I'm saying,
I didn't say I'm Abraham Lincoln. I said not since Abraham Lincoln has anybody done what I've done for the black community. Now,
that was just beautiful. That was so cringe. That Abraham Lincoln thing. It was just like, because it's just, again, he made a number of statements that need to be unpacked there, but that was cringe. That part was cringe. Yeah, Abraham Lincoln here is racist, basically.
Trump's record defends
Abraham
his
Lincoln?
character. I don't get it. All you have to do is look at what he's actually done for people. And if you look at that, then you realize the crap coming out of Biden's mouth and out of the fake media is garbage.
Yeah.
It's lies.
Yeah, well, he says, what do you want me to say? Like, I don't know what to say. It's like, did they ask Joe Biden about?
They never asked him about his
white supremacists and racists, whether he's a racist and why doesn't he say this or that or the third? Like,
I mean,
he
can
has
you imagine
47-year history
called black people
racism.
Super predators? Can you imagine if he called black people super predators like Biden has?
Yeah,
they would not let him live that down.
The super predator thing that's just like the tip of the iceberg when it comes. Like, he's an old school Southern Democrat style white supremacist, like for real.
Him on the plantation.
Straight up. Yeah. And he has history of it. I mean, he didn't want school. He was against, making it available for inner city kids and black people to reintegrate into, other schools and to send people across town. So, hey, Trump hasn't done anything against black people, and they keep throwing this rhetoric thing out there. And that is just infuriating because, like, why are you asking that question over and over again? He's already answered it. And he did it the other night in the debate, or not the debate, but the town hall.
Well, if you look at the history of hip hop, in addition to that, there are many black rappers who rapped about being like Trump. So if he was so villainized, if he was so hated by people of color, I guarantee you they'd be talking trash about him in their rap songs, not glorifying him. So he doesn't have these race issues and this, you know, this racist attitude that people are trying to project on him.
Let's see if I can find this here. I don't want other talking heads.
Oh, this is the Savannah Guthrie interview.
Yeah, the Savannah Guthrie.
Oh, success is. I've heard a lot about it. I haven't actually watched
he once
it.
again answered this question, and I think it just relates back to the way he responded to Joe Biden there.
Watching you on a debate stage right now, we're not doing that, so let's clear up a few things from the last one. You were asked point blank to denounce white supremacy. In the moment, you didn't. You asked some follow-up questions. Who specifically? A couple of days later, on a different show, you denounced white supremacy.
No, you
My
always
question
do this.
to you is,
You've done this to
why
me and
does
everybody.
it seem like
I denounce white supremacy, okay?
You did
I've
2 days
denounced
later.
white supremacy for years, but you always do it. You always start off with a question. You didn't ask Joe Biden whether or not he denounces Antifa. I watched him on the same basic show with Lester Holt, and he was asking questions like Biden was a child.
Well, so this is a little bit of a dodge.
Are you listening? I denounce white supremacy.
Okay.
What's your next question?
Do you feel, it feels sometimes you're hesitant
It's
to
not
do
good
so.
enough. It's not good enough. That's not good enough. Yeah. Okay, you denounce but did you answer quick
Like
enough?
you wait a
Here we
beat.
go again. Every time, in fact, my people came, I'm sure they'll ask you the white supremacy question. I denounce white supremacy.
Okay.
And frankly, you want to know something? I denounce Antifa, and I denounce these people on the left that are burning down our cities that are run by Democrats who don't know
While
what
we're
they're doing.
denouncing, let me ask you about QAnon. It is this theory that Democrats are a satanic.
All right, so we're not going to go into that part.
Oh boy, yeah.
It's so ridiculous. It's almost laughable. It's just gotten comedic.
Well, I mean, the fact that they won't ask Biden, who's a known white supremacist,
Yeah.
it's not even equal and just. They pose these questions to Trump, and then they don't even ask the same questions to Biden. That in and of itself seems a bit weird to
because
me.
Biden doesn't have a history of white supremacy, right?
No, not at all. Not in the 47 years.
Because he denounces it. Biden denounces it. So it doesn't matter what you do; it's what you say.
That's right. Yeah,
So,
it is about what you
yeah.
say, not what you do. Who cares about that?
Yeah.
Who cares about peace in the Middle East and giving, hundreds of thousands to black colleges and doing prison reform and creating programs so that when people get out of jail, they can get training and not have to go work at McDonald's and do, I don't want to call him. I guess who really wants to work at McDonald's and do what you got to do? But who really wants to do that when you can get technical training and go into a career? And those are the kind of avenues that Trump is opening up for people that were in prison before, and now they're getting a second chance. They're getting a second chance.
Yeah. So the last part that I think was the big points was foreign policy that I thought they were going to skip entirely because in the past week or two. There's been all sorts of foreign policy issues. For one, the Hunter Biden email scandal, which is amazing, and basically, the crack pipe. But that,
I have to say it because nobody said it yesterday.
I think because it's largely irrelevant. He's not running for office.
But it wouldn't have been irrelevant if they had found a crack pipe in Eric Trump's mouth or Ivanka Trump's mouth.
No, of course not.
That's all you would
they'd be
see
like, what
and
did Trump
hear.
do? He must have been a bad daddy. That his kid has all these drug issues and his whole life is screwed up.
I have something else to ask. What happened to Creepy Joe? There's all these pictures of him touching kids inappropriately and did we just forget about that? Did we just forget about that? And on top of that, meanwhile, while this is all out and this is common knowledge, there's tons of photos and video evidence. You have Trump that has been tackling human trafficking here in the United States, freeing children that were kidnapped and being raped and molested. And that's not even big talk. It's not big talk at all. That's bewildering to me.
Yeah. Here.
Medicaid.
Hold up. I need to get YouTube red so I don't have to.
Oh my God. The Roach comment when he's got the little black kid next to him.
Made me aware when I was in law school, proudly for Holloway, proudly for your dad.
first African American state senator in the state of Delaware. Everything about. And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. And look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I love kids jumping on my lap. And I tell you what, the men, they're not all men, the guys I work with down here, and they're all guys at the time, they're all good men. Most of them made an awful lot of themselves. And Larkin had a rough time. And some of you knew Earl. I came back as a public defender.
So what is he even saying?
What happened from the hair on his legs and the pool and little roaches? Yeah.
Like, what is he doing? Like, is he drunk? I don't think he's an alcoholic, but like, that's not normal. That's
I learned about roaches.
Completely ridiculous. I've been.
And by the way, you know, I got hairy legs that turn sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. And look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
He's got the pink eye. It's so.
There's only one way to take that.
It doesn't sound good no matter what.
No.
Yeah, what happened to Creepy Joe? That's just a good question. Like, we got Sleepy Joe.
Yeah.
Everybody's aware of Sleepy Joe.
As a mother, I haven't forgotten about Creepy Joe.
Well, you got Racist Joe. You got Creepy Joe. And I guess we just forget about all that because he's completely coherent, right? This man is totally lucid.
Yeah.
So, So, I mean, the Trump debate last night, the Biden-Trump debate was really great. I think Trump won it hands down.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he won the first one, but, you know, his shortcomings obviously were, you know.
I feel like Pence is rubbing off on him.
Running over the moderator.
Pensy, like composed and
it was
just
great.
Together.
Yeah, he took his coaching and he did it right this time. But he had to. This was a pivotal moment. He had to. If he had screwed up last night, he could have done real damage to himself. But as I said in the pre-show yesterday, at this point, the mandate on Trump is in. Everybody's made up their mind about Trump per se. It's Biden that determines this election now. If he falls any more than he already has, like, it's over for him.
I mean, does Biden even really have a chance? I know that they say that he's leading.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's definitely got a chance. Right now, he's favored, obviously.
I mean, when I look at, but when I actually look at the political rallies that they're holding, and I know that Biden is following, I guess, a list of rules and stipulations with the social distancing. So let's just say maybe that's why all of his supporters aren't coming out. Is that what it is?
I think this election really, based on what the candidates are, based on what how the campaigns are projecting their positions.
Mm-hmm.
I think this vote comes down to people that are cowards versus people that are not. I think that's really like one side is preying on fear of people, and the other side is basically counting on bravery. Like, yeah, we got problems. Yeah, this world isn't safe. Yeah, there's all sorts of things, but we are going to be America. We're going to be great. And then the other side saying dark, scary winter, bad orange man, you're in danger, racism, white supremacy, evil. And I think so at the end of the day, like, I think that's what this election comes down to, outside of course, the hardcore Republicans and hardcore Democrats who vote their way regardless of the candidate. For the center people, I think that's really what it comes down to. That's what sways them.
Well, I think you have two types of people.
Who's less scary?
For the most part, I think you have people that are collecting information from both sides and really trying to make some sort of educated choice. They're trying to be informed as much as they can be. And then I think you have a group of people that literally takes what they're spoon-fed. They're not seeking out more information. They're just getting what's on the mainstream news, and they're making a decision based off of that, because I guess once upon a time in the days of Dan Rather, people trusted the
serious
news.
Journalism.
Yeah, it was serious. Yeah, so they trusted it. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Yeah, we have lost all faith in the media. That much is true. Like, people are going by their gut at this point. There's no more semblance of truth or absolutes.
What's weird though is it's dividing families and friends, and that
Yeah.
is really, it's bizarre to me. I have so many people in my family right now that are voting Trump, and I also have a crap ton of people in my family that are, staunch Biden supporters, and went out and voted yesterday and today, and they're voting Biden, and they're all for it, and they're sending me text messages about it.
Yep.
And, what do I say? What do I do? I don't completely want to offend them, but I don't agree. And it's deeply offensive to me that they would vote Biden because I don't think it's in the best interest of our children.
It's not, but hey,
or our
it's
nation.
America.
But it is. They have the right to do that. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
I just think they're going to lose in a landslide.
I sure as hell hope so. I mean, I want higher
the game
taxes.
is still in play. Let's jump over here to the drudgery because we got about 20 minutes left. We haven't even gotten into the headlines yet. So we'll kind of flake through here. The top portion mainly debate review. Last grasp campaign everyone wants to end. 55 million people tuned in for the final debate. Fox News topped everyone. Imagine that everybody watched on Fox News.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of shocking to me.
Oh, it's been like that for months now.
Really?
Fox dominates in everything.
Well, then to me, I don't know. That kind of makes me think even more so what I believe already, that absolutely Trump is going to win.
Yeah, well, what it is that the left is it is diluted across all of these other NBC, ABC, CBS, MSNBC. Those are all hard leftist bent publications, and then you've only got one conservative, and that's Fox. So the reason Fox dominates all the ratings is because you can go to 5 different news channels and get the same story,
same thing,
or you
right?
can go to Fox to get the other. So, at the end of the day, the viewers are kind of split. But Fox dominates just because it is the only source for that side of the story.
Do you see what's going on with Mitch McConnell on your Drudge Report? Because when I looked at his skin, he's looking kind of Palpatine-ish. As in his
hands there.
Yeah.
I can zoom in on that.
Although I'll be completely honest, when we went to the nursing home
Good Lord.
to see your grandparents, I noticed that, as,
he's
as white
obviously
people age,
suffered something there.
Yeah, they bruise really easily, and they have that sort of discoloring. So
Did he get attacked? He looks terrible.
probably stressed the hell out.
Now they have. Look at that.
It looks really bad.
He's
though.
got it on his face too.
Yeah, but they tried to cover it up with makeup, but
Was
so it
he in
must
a
be
car
pretty
accident?
dark. Something happened.
It looks like, did he fall? It looks like he fell maybe. Busted his face and his hands.
That's the worst,
I don't even
man,
know.
when the elderly fall.
Yeah, it might be over for him.
I mean, what do you think about
What is the
Amy
story
McGrath
under it?
versus?
Let's see what it is. Let's see what the story says here. Mitch McConnell, 78, denies he has any health problems amid speculation over why his hands are badly bruised and covered in Band-Aids. He assures all is well after speculation swirled over his health. These questions emerged after the Kentucky Republican was shown with severe discoloration and Band-Aids on his hands, and his lips appeared bruised. Is there anything going on we should know about? A reporter asked. Of course not, he said. Some claim the 78-year-old center has contracted COVID-19, while others say he could be on blood thinners.
He's on blood thinners. Is that anybody's business, really? I mean, is there anything that's sacred? My goodness. I mean, And on top of that, really and truly, again, go to the nursing home. You notice, the elderly, this stuff happens to them. They do discolor. I guess one day we will discolor.
I hope we don't discolor like that.
I mean, me too.
It looks like something's happened to him.
But I've seen that. Yeah, he might have fell though. Yeah, maybe he's not dying. Maybe it's
the witches are at it again, casting thousands of witches to cast a spell on Trump for Halloween.
Oh my gosh, man.
Let me guess, they're voting Democrat.
Jesus.
These people always crack me up.
They take all the fun and magic out of it. You can't even believe in it anymore because their spells don't even work. So it just shows how powerless they are. Yeah.
It's just like
the hippie dippy carrots.
It's like fat purple, like sad, lonely cat ladies that can't find a man.
Yeah.
Or a woman for that
They
matter.
give cats a bad name. They really do. Cats are incredible creatures.
No offense to those few hot witches out there, but the hot witches probably vote for Trump. So, what were you saying about who were we going to look at next?
Kamala? Yeah, sure.
Is it Kamala or Kamala?
You know, I'm
Racist now. I don't know. I haven't figured out which one
if
is
you don't
the
say her
racist
name
one.
perfectly right, which I guess I didn't know I needed to be offended all these years because I have people totally butchering my name on a regular basis, and I guess I have to call them racist.
Yeah, they
now.
use completely different consonants.
Yeah.
Instead of Jaslyn, they'll say Jasmine.
Oh, my last name is completely. I mean,
Verdejo.
yeah. Or Xiomara, Exomera. You're a racist. You can't say my middle name right.
Americans frantically buying military gear before the elections. Not surprising at all.
Well, yeah, because it's like if Biden wins, that Kamala has already said that she was going to take away the guns.
Protect you. The police are going to be defunded. So yeah, you got to watch out for your own neighborhood. You have to do that, Adam Calhoun.
I do like him.
NYPD, LAPD bracing for riots, and lawyers are set for battle. So yeah, same old with the riot on the riot
But
front.
I thought everything was just. Didn't Biden say everything was okay in New York? That things are just improving.
I don't know how he could possibly say that.
He heard that at least or said it. Yeah, yesterday. I want to say I vaguely remember that. So to hear about riots,
how good
my
New York
goodness.
is. Yeah. New York is a fucking disaster zone. Everybody's fleeing. Anybody that can flee has fled.
Yeah, a lot of people that we work with and just know in general, even the people that have been looking at the house next door to us, New York plates. I've heard a lot of people saying, I got family in New York. If you have the money to, you're fleeing and you're leaving.
And at first I was thinking like this could have a real bad effect for the conservatives because these are hard leftist New Yorkers leaving, their stronghold city and moving out into the states and voting for their Democratic Party, even though they're not represented by the state they're in. Mm-hmm. But I'm more and more thinking like basically it's going to flip them to the right.
I mean, I would think
because why would you want to leave a shithole and go to like a paradise, realize how good that life is, how good those people are, how not racist they are, and then want to bring hell into their place where you now have moved. So I think they're going to turn more center once they get out of those lefty city thought bubbles where everybody's just dependent on the rednecks to survive every single day. Like we don't send them corn or their milk, or they literally die and eat each other within like 72 hours. So
I mean, I know I would consider myself a Democrat way back when, and I am still very liberal and
we're a very liberal country.
Yeah,
we were founded on the Conservative Party is a liberal party.
Realizing what. It's been, I knew what my values were the entire time. It's realizing what the Democrats stood for that made me realize, well, maybe I shouldn't claim to be a part of this group of people anymore because they don't really represent the values that I care about. And that's all it is. And I think a lot of people are really misinformed. They feel like the Democrats care about the people. And I don't see any real evidence of that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I think it's all about where you are in your thought bubbles and the people around you. If you're not independently doing something with your life, there are people that really just don't even get caught up in all of this politics and stuff.
Yeah,
but for those that do, people want to fit in. They want to be part of their society. They don't want to be hated and ostracized for their communities. And in New York, if you are a conservative, like you have faced real trouble. As soon as you get out of that thought bubble and, now you can speak freely. I think people in general, like the brainwashing goes away over 6 months to a year. Like,
well, when is it going to go away?
It's like
with
leaving
some
a
of
cult.
Our friends?
It's like leaving a cult.
Because it's upsetting to me. Like, there was all these great taverns that we frequented and had fun at. And like finding out that people, and I still love their music. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy it. But it has changed it really has changed the way I feel about these people. And I hate to admit that, like knowing that, in my opinion, they stand up for like really sinister ideals.
Well, they stand up for things that really work against their own interest, all for the sake of virtue signaling.
Yeah.
The virtue signaling is so just pathetic. And like, I mean, a huge percentage of our friends locally here. A
lot of hippy dippy people.
Yeah, literally just against their own interests.
I'm like, what's wrong with you?
They have this moral superiority complex that's rooted in systematic democratic plantation racism that they are just too blind to see.
Well, I always thought that hippies wanted limited government. I mean,
You would think, right?
that's really what I thought they wanted. I thought that was
Didn't they want freedom?
Yes.
To wear whatever they want,
and no war,
no
and,
masks.
Yeah, no masks.
No determinations on your freedom and your expression.
The ability to do what you want with your body, and so in my opinion, that infers limited government. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
It's my choice.
For the sake of virtue signaling, they are voting against their own interest.
Hexit, I'm telling you, Hexit. Hippies exiting, the Democratic Party. I'm serious. Like, I would love to start that because it's bewildering to me that, like, I found this community of people that I like, and I feel like, we resonate off of each other, and I like the music, and I like the acid, and I like the marijuana, and I like the freedom, and I like the care about the environment. But then you dig beneath the surface, and I'm just like, have all the drugs rotted out your brains?
Yeah.
I mean, really and truly, I feel like the only people that I can really trust are like, are some of the people that are the ones that are writing the books about it. Other than that, it seems like nobody's even doing. I guess they're not dosing.
They're not
right.
researching,
and they're
people
not.
Are not researching, and people are afraid. Man, these people are just spineless, sad, broke, got nothing to show for it. Single, lonely.
Well, that is the fruit
desperate,
of that particular
fucking somebody else every single night. Nothing against your sexual preferences, but like you live a certain lifestyle. You treat yourself and others a certain sort of way. Mm-hmm. You have no respect for the temple in you or the temple in others.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I mean, it's not, you have a right to do whatever the hell you want. It's America.
Absolutely.
But good Lord.
Yeah.
You got to stop pointing fingers all the time. What happened to that culture of peace and love and shit? These are some of the most judgmental fucking assholes in the world.
Really and truly. I mean, after having literally being there, I remember, going to a certain tavern and somehow politics coming up and being attacked. And I thought like being surrounded by these hippy dippy people was a safe space for me where I could literally think and believe. I really thought this, whatever the hell I wanted. And that these people were also open-minded, that it didn't really matter, that they still liked me and it was going to be okay. Viciously attacked. I don't really think I've been back since. I don't feel comfortable. And then I see these same people, the musicians and the people that frequent, disclosing their beliefs on Facebook. And then, the minute you share a difference of opinion, they character assassinate you. And I'm just like, wow, are you for real? Like, we dance together and drink together and party together, and like, you're tearing me apart. You're not even doing it with a shred of decency and being mindful that, like, me, we see each other. You're just going to shred me apart like I'm nothing, and that it's hurtful.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was a community of love. And it's not.
Just keep doing the drugs.
Yeah, but do them right if you're going to do them. Like, dose yourself proper, because my goodness, you're not. I don't know what. They got some bad crap in there. Find a new dealer.
Musk vows to build an internet bridge to Mars. Man, I'll tell you what, Elon Musk, man, I got to give it to that dude. Like, I love the way he thinks. Now, it's kind of scary.
He's scary
as hell. Yes. But like, you talk about the fucking American spirit. I mean, this guy built rockets, paths forward on the electric car industry. He's building the internet.
Is he making the Underground Railroad in California?
He's trying to build underground tunnels. I don't know if that project is still on going or not. The boring project. He built flamethrowers. And now he's going to be the one, like, when we do get to Mars, it's going to be on a Musk rocket. And that's just like amazing to me. That this private guy. Yeah. But that's the first step. I mean, that shows how serious it, because basically they're building I guess, high speed internet to Mars, so that there is that, broadband bandwidth, instead of these,
and then, of course,
small data
Space
packets.
Force.
And Trump on the Space Force, man, I'm loving it. I'm loving what's happening in space. I will not be the one to go test out on those rockets.
No, I'm
but I look forward to seeing other people do it, and being down here with my little American flag and my fucking MAGA hat.
You made it.
Ron Perelman sell-off continues with his $106 million super yacht. I don't know who that is.
I don't know either.
The Pope is in a bit of trouble with the same-sex union thing.
What does he endorse that? And so people are losing their mind?
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's see here. It said Cardinal hits out for sowing confusion over same-sex unions. Yeah, he's endorsed same-sex unions, and says that the pontiff's private opinion does not correspond to the teachings of the church. Cardinal Burke said Francis's remarks are devoid of magisterial weight and do not correspond to the constant teachings of the church. Francis called same-sex couples children of God and have a right to be a family. I don't see what's so controversial about that.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, yeah. Do I believe in sexual deviancy? Yeah, I do believe that there is a such thing as sexual deviancy. I don't think it's anybody's job to tell you what that is. That's something that you do you figure that out yourself. Mm-hmm. And yeah, this just goes to show. I mean, organized religion, man. It's just, you know,
the church. It just shouldn't even be a concern of the church, as far as I'm concerned. You know,
what can you say about that statement? They're children of God and they have a right to be a family. I mean, how can you say anything about, like, what can you say about that?
Yeah.
No, they're not. These are hellspawn. They don't have a right to be a family. I'm sorry. But the Catholic Church is already there. I don't understand why these leaders can't figure out that their congregation has already moved into the same-sex marriage realm, and the world has moved past this. This is no longer an argument. The Supreme Court has ruled. It's over. Like, this is done. Like, get over it. Like, there's nothing wrong with people being happy and fucking who they want to fuck.
Yeah.
And, like, sorting that out with God in their own life. Come on. Ridiculous.
Bigger things to think about.
I stand with the Pope on that one, even though I'm sort of an anti-Pope sort of guy. Putin, Russia-China military alliance can't be ruled out. Dreams of a red emperor, relentless rise of Xi Jinping. And this is the real threat to the world, has always been.
The Chinese.
China.
Well, I don't want to say the Chinese. Chinese people are great.
Yeah, that's the Chinese Communist Party. Yeah, the China, which is China. I'm sorry.
And their food is delicious.
The people give their government to, that is who they choose to be identified as. So yeah, the Chinese people stand with them, but as long as they are the Chinese Communist Party and that's the government that they choose or allowed to be rained down upon them, they're.
I mean, I don't know if they're. It's like, what do you do? Like, people that like say anything
here in America.
I guess you're right.
Patriots that spill their blood all over the country.
Yeah.
And you sacrifice and you take your country back.
You're right.
And then you don't let it go like we're trying to do right now. It is a hard pill to swallow. But the threat of the U.S. ostracizing Russia to the point that it partners with China, and they already have a cozy relationship, like that would be the ultimate nightmare World War III situation for America. Would be a hegemony, I guess is the word, between Russia and China. Now, I don't see that as being particularly likely, as Xi Jinping is basically a crazy, insane dictator. And Putin is also a dictator, but much more level-headed. I don't see how these two. I don't see Putin bowing down to kiss the ring on. No,
that's not Putin's style. No, it's definitely his style.
I'd say the very best currently in the current climate, an alliance between them would be tenuous at best.
But you got China, who's been building islands since 2014 in the Chinese Sea, I believe, expanding themselves. So,
which is the next headline: U.S. Marines run island hopping exercises, practicing destroying missile sites over future war fears. Mm-hmm. Defeat for Trump would mean some other leaders also lose out. They hit on this last night on the debates, and Trump made such an excellent point about North Korea. North Korea under the Obama administration had become like this a real threat and a real not so much to America as to the region that it was in, and also with just this relationship with America had soured to the point that it was being pushed towards our enemies, and Obama said to Trump during the transition, allegedly, according to Trump, that the greatest threat that they were facing in America was China at the time or North Korea at the time that Trump took office. within like 6 months. I mean, we did that. We did that was the first year of our morning drudgery. We did the Day of the Sun parade and all that.
Oh, that was fun.
And,
so colorful people.
Yeah. And I mean, that was the Rocket Man crisis. He was blowing up shit, blew up his own mountain. Like it was getting crazy over there.
Oh.
And Trump fixed it.
Yeah.
Somehow Trump made friends to some extent with Kim Jong-un. So
I mean, you don't even hear anything about it anymore.
And guess what? They're not like they're not, do they still building missiles? Yeah. Are they happy and content all the time? No. But he made the point last night that, hey, why are you guys hitting on me? Why are you so intent on saying that? Like, what do you want me to do with North Korea? Isn't it better to be friends with these crazy people than their enemies?
Yeah.
And that is an excellent point. Unless you're going to take on an Obama or Bush neocon stance where you just, we'll just go assassinate him.
It's very art of war.
Yeah. Instead, like, let's just make them not hate us as much and like let them rattle their sabers and let them have their anti-American propaganda and not be threatening them every other day with like annihilation.
Well, I mean, you would think people would be celebrating that because, for one, I've heard countless people talk about America's always sticking its nose in its finger where it doesn't belong.
Imperialist
Let people
Americans.
do what they want. So,
and now Trump has
literally done that.
And North Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah. While completely while attacking our real enemies, China.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Iranian government. I can't get my head around it. I totally love Trump's foreign policy. I think of all the things that I like about Trump, his foreign policy is the most important part that really affects American strength right now. And it has been nothing but good for us. I'm sorry. Like, I know there's glitches with the tariff war, the trade wars with China. It's a painful process reversing 15 years of globalization and the sell off of American sovereignty overseas. Yeah. Getting that all back. There's growing pains. It's going to hurt. There are conveniences that are lost. But good Lord, it's so much better for America to be self-dependent. We have our own energy now.
Yeah, we're energy independent.
Yeah, at least largely, at least for the most part. So, I mean, come on. You got to give it to Trump on that. Biden will literally reverse and go right back to he's just Bush 3.0. Obama was Bush 2.0. I mean, is that really what we want to continue?
I don't think so.
So,
last time I checked, I thought people didn't, you know what I mean? I thought people didn't like Bush very much.
We are out of time. This has been an hour. In fact, we're 2 minutes over time. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back. I don't know when. We don't do this every single day.
Yeah.
But appreciate you tuning in for the morning drudgery, and keep up with the Drudge Report, guys. It's no longer just the old crazy white supremacies. There's all sorts of other things. Although I will warn you, the page is still white. The background is still white. All right, folks, this is the Colonel and the Wiggles with the morning drudgery.